What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Big shout out to my doggy, Alistair Scott, Orthodox Boxing, and Nick A for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, I got another leaked video for you, man. Who right now? Anthony Johnstewart, aka Anthony Orderly Joshua, and his corner, Ben, Mr. Miyagi Davison, aka Ben Damato Davidson. Let's just get straight to it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm fixing to put on. Let me see if they've put on the subtitles already. So what I'll do, I'll scroll down. Obviously, you know what Sky are like, man. It's a guy, the people, Sky top shekel. Yeah, you put any of the things there, bash, your channel get got. So I'll scroll down so you man can see just the You can't really hear it anyway, to be honest. It's not the clear thing, but I'll play it. But you can see if you look here, around this area here, you'll see the subtitles for sure. So here we go. You know what, people? You know what? We've got 40 seconds left. I'll carry on playing.
Yeah. Roll the dice. Roll that dice, isn't it? Double in his eyes, bring it up. So at the start of the round, he'll come up fast. Yeah, so be ready. Slip and bring it up. He'll step in with his jab. He was returning everything at the start. So when he's hit, start mixing it up. Keep it getting. Once you see he's not sure, double bring it up.
He hasn't got his head back together since the opening round, but he lands a big right hand here. And Joshua now maybe can step on. Big right hand again. Dubois somehow manages to take it.
So, you've seen the leaked corner work there. I'm going to have to go back and play it all because I hate to break it to the the orderly. Yeah? The orderly thingy. People, listen. All of the orderly thingy Johnston homosexuals, you sick right now. And to be quite frank, I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched all the boxing pundits out there, but they weren't saying the bars I was telling you. I was telling you about about be careful. I did a video on it. I said be careful months ago, after Ngannou, after AJ sparked and Bongo out. Yeah? I told you, be careful falling in love with party tricks, man. Look throughout history, how many fighters really had a party trick like that? And that's why I never believed in Wilder's power. Number one, he only KO bums, or he gets knocked out. Right? Number two, oh, that's the bottom line, essentially. Who do you know, people, in the history of the game? People can have good punches, but it's solid fundamentals. For example, Golovkin, solid, strong fighter. I compared to AJ. That should have been AJ's shtick. Golovkin, Canelo, Beterbiev. No party tricks there. Beterbiev can hit you with either hand. Or even throw Dubois in there for now. Dubois can hit you with a jab, knock your head off. Right hand, uppercuts, hooks. There's no party trick, people. Triple G don't have a party trick. Beterbiev don't have a party trick. It's not... you can't replicate it, people. Unless you do a Jake Paul. Same with Fake Paul. I've been telling Fake Paul that as well. I told Fake Paul, forget the party trick. Looking at the floor and bowling the right hand over legitimately only works with wrestlers. What do we know? Fake Paul knock out all the wrestlers, gets in there with an E-rate boxer Timmy Fury can't do nothing with a party trick. I told you, specific to this fight with AJ and Dubois, real boxers, they see right hands coming from here to your ankles and back up again. You ain't going to catch no one with that like that. Well, the odds are very slim. Again, put Wilder in there with Parker. Parker can box. All of a sudden, he can't find the right hand. Put him in there with Zhang. Can't find the right hand. Put him in there with Fury. He finds it. Don't knock no one out. AKA his power's suspect. You have to go back to 60-year-old Luis Ortiz, who in my opinion, they had a weird little thing going on. A little bromance going on. So who knows what that was about. We know Wilder paid Malik Scott. So stop playing. Yeah? We know that. Anyway. YB, what are you talking about? Party trick. I'm going to show you now. And ask yourself how I knew this was a real risk and a real possibility. AJ comes in just looking for the right hand. Never mind that. This cat here, Ben Damato Davison, he's in the corner. In the thick of it. Trying to get the party trick off. That's all he's been doing. Literally. So people are saying, YB, why was AJ's chin in the air? Why was his hands low? That's what happens when all you're doing is locking in, which is all I saw AJ do on the pads. Yeah? Your chin doesn't have to be... You don't have to be clinical with your chin or your hand position. When all you're doing is loading up and stepping back and winging, you can do what you want. Why not? Because you're just going to knock everyone out with the right hand, right? To be fair to Ben Davison and Audley Johnston, Audley Johnston, 99% of you man was telling him that. Baby, the right hand. I did a whole hour video on it. AJ's never knocked no one out with the right hand like that. You have to go to a wrestler. Fake Paul has shown you the right hand party trick only works with wrestlers. Only works. AJ didn't even knock out. AJ hit Charles Martin with a short right hand. He wasn't knocked out. He just quit. Who else has AJ caught? Couldn't catch Takam. Couldn't catch Parker. Couldn't catch Usyk. Couldn't catch Brazil. No one has he knocked out with a right hand spark like that. Only a wrestler. Oops for you, man. The low IQ man out there. Yeah, who can't read between the lines. And it's sad that you got a top boxing trainer doing this with people. AJ also has responsibility. Why? He's a grown-ass man. Yeah, all that glitters isn't gold. Some dude with soft hair giving boxing advice. Come on. Come on. Come on, people. You got to be careful of them soft hair cats. For real. I wash my hair once a week. No, did he? Yeah? People, who here think Ben Davison washes hair once a week? No. Every night. He got a full thing. He's got a full hair program. He got the shampoos. He's got the conditioner. Then he's got the mask, the hair mask that the girls use. Yeah? Michelle's always like, what Miles? YB? Why don't you use this mask? Yeah? I'm not a woman. I ain't putting no hair mask in my hair. It's zesty enough having long hair as a man. I ain't doing no mask with it, man. This is Nifanderal bun, people. Old school. Do you understand? No doubt about it. Be careful of these cats who come there whispering to you, yeah, AJ, I'll show you an easy way to knock everyone out of a party trick. I'll fix that Usyk fight for you. I could never tell AJ that. I'll tell AJ, come with me and we'll give AJ a hell of a fight. It's up to you if you want to fight or not and win. That's all I can do. I'll give you the basis to give Usyk one hell of a whooping on our way to win or on our way to Valhalla. Those are the two options. I can stand before thee. Valhalla or a win. Nothing else can you get from the YB. We ain't going back. Pop, pop. Bosh. Do you understand? Oh, yes, AJ. Ben Davison ain't stupid. He knows. He's seen how corny AJ is. Yeah, he's heard all the spiritual waffle about positivity and believe in it. So all Ben Davison got to do is go in there and say, hey, AJ, oh, just believe we're going to clip him with the right hand. Just visualise it. Just stand there in the interview with Steve Bunce, closing your eyes and thinking about it, and it will happen. Oops. Turns out, God ain't gonna help AJ. Turns out, believing it ain't gonna help AJ. Turns out, thinking it ain't gonna help AJ. Turns out, looking at the floor and trying to get off party tricks ain't gonna help AJ. So Ben Davison said there, he's going off of your feints. I think, I'm not really sure what this means. I'm guessing Ben Davison is kind of trying to suck AJ off. Yeah, he's going for you. It's implying to me that Ben Davison's saying, yeah, AJ, keep doing the feints because he's reacting to them. I didn't see that. All I saw was the pop him in his mouth with a stiff jab. That's what I saw. The feints in itself aren't bad advice, though. Not the advice I'd have given after that first round, if I'm honest, though. Chin down, hands up. But the feints, people, AJ's jab was like a feint. Let's call it a spade. That little faffy jab he was doing was like a feint. He didn't really need no more feints at that point. I'd have told him. You can't, people, the problem is you can't tell people things in the fight. He would have had to have prepared to stick his feet in the mud. Let's just tangle here. Dubois want to come in. Let's tangle. That's what he's supposed to be training for. Go back and watch the old school fighters, people. Big ass heavyweights. In there, just moshing away. Get in there. Get in there and mosh away. If he wants to have a fight now, we'll fight. Because we've trained for it. I've been in the gym. Yeah? In there just tucking up and whacking away. Pop, pop. Bosh. You understand, people? We've been doing that. The problem is, like Shane McGuigan said before the fight, I don't think AJ been having hard sparring. And I don't either. Me and Shane didn't believe that. He's been having an ego fluffing experience. And even before the fight, people were saying, when Shane McGuigan mentioned, I don't think he's having hard spars, they were saying, oh yeah, but he doesn't need hard spars. He's 35 now. He knows what to do. Oops. Turns out he doesn't. I'd argue there's some fighters, like when James Toney went to heavyweight, he loved to spar, but I'm saying he didn't need no more hard sparring at that point. He has the reactions and he knows, he has the fight IQ to know what to do in a hard fight, right? AJ does not. He's never lived it. That Vlad fight was pure survival and I think hunger, because he wasn't on yet. He'd made a few mil, but he wasn't generationally wealthy. He had to fight. He was forced to. And even then, it took him 3, 4, 5 rounds to recover. And Vlad's 50 years old. If Vlad had got on him, who knows?
Okay. So off your work, you need to be ready. Sharp slip uppercut.
So off your work, you need to be ready. So once, this is telling me when Maggie's saying, once AJ gets his work off, you need to be ready. I assume he's meaning get your work off and keep your hands up and chin down. Again, it didn't look like they've been training for that though. Yeah? And this is why training is so important and discipline and the basics. Chin down, hands up. That should be so well ingrained into your psyche. That's a given. We're doing that already. And to be fair to AJ in the past, I've always been critical of his leaky defense, but he had a base there. There was no base at all in this fight. It's been neglected. They've been talking about feints and loose and flow state. That's how it looked to me. It looked like a flow state hippie training camp. Not a man preparing to go in there with Maximus Danielius Dubois. That's what it definitely wasn't. You got Eddie Hearn there blowing smoke up AJ's arse. Yeah, Dubois quit. Oops. Oops. That's a big oopsie doopsie for Hearns. Matt Hearns, man, he going through it, man. He down bad. Oh. So off your... what did he say again? After your work, you need to be ready. Sharp, stiff uppercut. People, I'm sorry, yeah. Like you did there. People, whatever AJ was doing was never good. I think he missed with the uppercut on that occasion. Let me tell you something now. Anyone who box knows, throw in the back uppercut. So for AJ's case, throwing a right uppercut is the most risky shot. You have to drop your hand right down to your waist, and then bring it back up. You're the most exposed you can ever be. At least with the right hand, you can throw it here, and you've got some protection from you. And throwing shots in a straight line is the quickest way. The uppercut's the slowest punch, I'd argue, and you're the most exposed because you're coming down, so your whole shoulder drops, your whole head's open. With a hook, you can kind of bring your shoulder up. With a right hand, you got your shoulder there, and the straight shot's quicker as well. It's less obvious. When you're dropping back in particular, like AJ was liking to do, dropping back, the more movements you add to a sequence, the more time it takes, the more obvious it is. Especially someone as stiff as AJ. Someone stepping back, dropping their hand to the floor, looking up. It's very unlikely you're going to catch seasoned boxers with them kind of party tricks. Again, you have to go back to Ngannou. He didn't knock Wallin out. He caught Wallin, to be fair. Didn't knock him out, though. And then faffed around for the rest of the round. This isn't good boxing advice, people. But it shows you the theme of the camp. At this point, Ben Davison couldn't tell him nothing different. Yeah? If you've been put down in the first round and your trainer's telling you to do party trick shots like drop back and throw the uppercut, leading with the uppercut in general, it's like, to lead with an uppercut, he ain't, people, his name is not Anthony Prince Hamed Joshua. Leading with the uppercut, AJ's a stiff kind of dude. The only time you're really going to lead with an uppercut is if you're in the mix like this and you're tuggling in and you're trying to find some space to work. You're not going to be at range and then leading in with an uppercut in a fight that you've been rocked in. You know, I'd have told him, chin down, hands up, let's get the jab going. If we're going to commit to anything, let's get a stiff jab on his face. Keep him honest, right? It's the least risky shot. It's quick. It's right there. You don't have to think much. You've been throwing jabs 20 years of your life. It's not something you just learnt with Ben Davison, because I tell you it's for free. AJ leading off with a step back uppercut he's only been doing that 6 months. Everyone's been throwing a jab for 20 years. So I'd have told him, chin down, people, I'd have told AJ, I don't want to see that right hand move from the top of your forehead. You stick it right here. Yeah, your chin's down, you stick it right here, pop. We're going to commit to the jab. The minute you see Dubois flinch with a jab, we're meeting him with it. Fuck it. Yeah? If we're going to go gun-ho and gamble, let's gamble with something that has a chance of working, man. This was out of desperation. Trying to get lucky. And I'm glad that he lost, because if he'd have got that shot off, everyone would be blowing him now. But it's not sustainable. You damn sure ain't going to catch Usyk with it. You're just not. Because Usyk ain't going to be like that. And Dubois wasn't there like that either. Even the magical right hand people were saying that AJ buzzed Dubois with, Dubois looked fine to me. Dubois was playing possum, posted up here having a look, ready to walk AJ on. He wasn't rocked. It's ridiculous. People saying Dubois was out on his feet. Ridiculous. You might have bugging. Completely bugging. There's nothing wrong with him. Dubois looked the same as he did when he took all them Hrgovic shots. Fine. To me. That's not me being biased. I've watched it back. I'm going to do a video on it. Dubois was not rocked. You got all these AJ homosexuals now. Yeah, I could have gone either way, and it was 50-50, and AJ just lost in a gun battle. No, that's not what happened. Stop lying.
Slip uppercut like you did there, or sharp slip right hand. If you find yourself in a situation where you're hurt, back to the ropes, high guard, you'll chase.
Okay. If you find a situation you're hurt, go back to the ropes with a high guard. There's so much advice here, people. Yeah? AJ was hurt from the minute the fight started, so I'd have forgot all the kind of tricky offensive stuff. Basics. Chin down, hands up. I'd have even argued, I guess you don't want Dubois teeing off. But this is why I believe boxers should have different modes. If I was training AJ, I'd call it the Ruiz 2 mode. Yeah, we'd have trained for different outcomes. If we do get hit, we're going into Ruiz 2. You know what I'm saying? Let's try a bit of that. Structured. Bosh. We're galloping, fainting. Slip and slide to give him a bit of the jippo. Yeah, give him the jippo. That's what I call it. Give this guy the jippo, man. Not go stumble back. Yeah, AJ, stumble back to the ropes and stick your hands to your head. You're food, people. That's bad. I'd rather have told AJ, Let's have a fight now then. Stick your hands up and walk into him. Walk into the pressure. That's what Floyd Mayweather did well. When Floyd Mayweather got rocked by Zab, I think, and maybe Mosley, he's clinging onto arms. His hands are up. He's walking into the fight. You can't. It's hard to fight. You don't give the guy space. The worst thing you can do is, even if you got your hands up, and it is psychologically, it's hard to train. When someone's coming at you, the innate reaction built into DNA is go backwards. But in reality, in a fight, people, you just give the pressure fire. Who here saw someone beat Triple G stumbling backwards with their hands up? You food. Who here saw someone beat a New A or put on the New A stumbling backwards with their hands up? You just fish food then. You a heavy bag. You turn it into a heavy bag session. They're just picking shots and teeing off. You're better off being right on top of them. It doesn't make sense and it's hard to do, but that's the bottom line, man. Chin down, hands up, and smother their work. Just be on them. Let them punch themselves out with kind of in tight. Honestly, in my opinion, and again, don't take my advice, that's what Floyd did. You're better off being in front, and you can also, it's less, when you're running and backpedaling, it feels like a bad horror movie at the time. You've lost all control. You are just fish food at that point. Yeah? Your weight's going backwards. You're getting pushed up on the ropes. You're all stretched out. You can't punch back. At least if you're leaning into it, you're still going to get hit. But at least you're there then. You're there then. You know what you're dealing with. You know what you've made a choice to be getting hit. Rather than stretched out on the ropes and dude's got his hands on your fingers working. Got his forearm on your throat working you. Like a heavy back man. You understand? So Ben Davison said there, so stumble back to the ropes with your hands up and he'll chase the head, so drop it to the body. Ben, again, I hate to break you, Ben Davison bisexuals. This ain't good boxing advice. Yeah? You never throw a body shot from the ropes, leading off. Ben said, when you stumble to the ropes with your hands up, he's going to come chasing the head, so drop to the body. It sounds good. Oh, Dubois going to be punching up, so you punch down. In reality, who here throwing a body shot off the ropes like this, man? A body shot, you have to drop your hand below shoulder height, which opens up the whole lot. And it's slow. Yeah? Shots to the body take longer than shots to the head. Especially when your hands are up. Because you signal. Your hands go from being up here, you have to drop it right down to throw it. It's obvious it's coming. Even more so when you're on the ropes and the lot's going. It's just shocking advice, man. Shocking advice. If I was going to tell AJ to throw a body shot, hands up, walk into him and work his body. Okay. Right? At least something positive. Yeah, AJ, for a body shot when you're bent up on the ropes with his forearm in your face. Come on, bro. Come on now, Ben. Come on, Ben. Ben don't know how to fight, man. He don't know how to fight. Stop playing, man. He don't know how to fight. And you got these corny kind of pseudo-boxing heads saying, well, it's easy for people to sit there and say what a trainer should do. I'm telling you the facts. I'm telling you what Floyd Mayweather done. And even when Floyd would go back to the ropes, for example, against De La Hoya, he weren't throwing body shots. You don't see Floyd hunched over on the ropes like this, yeah? Trying to drop down with an uppercut. Well, maybe you do actually, tell a lie. He was quick anyway. AJ ain't doing the Floyd on the ropes. Most of the time I remember Floyd in the ropes, if anything, he'd roll back and sling the straight right or the cross. Leading with uppercuts on the ropes is just risk.com. Unless you've got the complete measure of someone. Yeah? Throwing uppercuts, leading off with uppercuts or body shots, you got to have the measure of people, man, in my opinion. And he did not have that.
He's going off with your face, yeah? So stay switched on to that. When he's bouncing, be confident to bring your feet in. Double hasn't got to land.
So here we go. When he's bouncing, be confident, bring your feet in. So much conflicting advice. The problem is, to be fair to Ben, we don't know when these corner things were going on. Right? So the advice is chopping and changing. Yeah, go to the ropes with your hands up and throw some body shots. Now it's too much. It's too much conflicting, loose as a goose, do a bit of this, do a bit of that. Back up now with your hands up. Now step in and be confident. You can laugh at me, YB, you always say hands up, chin down, pop, pop, barsh. But that's something Look at even when Triple G was getting pressed by Canelo in the second fight. Well, they were having a proper fight, right? They have solid principles. It's not... No one was telling Triple G, oh yeah, Triple G, if he clops you, stumble to the ropes with your hands up and then drop a body shot in. They know how to... It's a fight, right? It's a fight. Tangle. Pop, pop. Bosh. Yeah? That's what you do in a fight. Rocked or not rocked. How many... Watch Holyfield versus Burt Cooper. Both of them man got put down. Both got back up. Yeah? And I genuinely... Watch Burt Cooper versus Holyfield. I don't remember them man dancing around for minutes on end. They got rocked and they're more or less there, just taking it and riding with it. Because at the end of the day, it's not like AJ ran away and didn't get the brakes beat off him. Like I said, top professional boxers / fighters galloping backwards, that's a new age thing, man. That's a Vladimir Klitschko, oh, I'm hurt, let me show the world. Old school man had pride and ego. They didn't want next man to know they was hurt for 4 rounds, dancing around the place. You fish food, people. You fish food. Prey animals run around and stumble, gallop backwards. No red-blooded man wants to be seen as fish food. Of course, there's periods you get rocked, you take a step back. Taking a step back and galloping around the ring, skirting around there for rounds on end. It's whack. It's whack, man. It's new age, for sure.
Give the space to right hand behind you, yeah? Done one there, landed nice. Next time, get the opportunity to bring it up. Yeah?
So Ben there again. Ben says the right hand landed nice. Next time, bring in the uppercut. People, when shit hits the fan, in my opinion, when shit hits the fan, jab, right hand, keep it simple. Hooks and uppercuts, those are confident punches. Yeah, those are punches you have when you've got a gauge of someone. Look at Dubois, from what I remember, his jab got going, then his right hand came. Then you start getting fruity with it when you feel confident, when you've got something going. AJ never had nothing going. He had no business throwing anything but a jab and a right hand. At the most. This whole uppercut shtick. Dropping back and slinging an uppercut. In this position. I can't think of one fighter in history whose lead shot was a drop back uppercut. I can't name one. There's a reason for that. It's not because YB, but Mr. Maggie's mystical and you don't understand. And AJ's new relationship with AJ, Spencer Oliver. But AJ's new relationship with Mr. Maggie's is different and he can drop back and throw the lead uppercut from the back. Huh? Oops. This is chicanery, people. Foolery. That's what this is. Magic tricks. Ben Davison's a sorcerer. The worst kind, that's talking shit, essentially, people, which is probably most sorcerers. You know, if you go to one of them moody card readers, that's Ben Davison. Yes, AJ, I see for you the magical drop back uppercut whilst you're rocked is the way to your bright future. Corny looking ass.
When you're stepping, there was a spell there you was getting hit because you were stepping around the ring, not being threatening. You were just galloping around.
So he says, you were stepping around the ring and not being threatening. You were just galloping around. That's what he was doing, man. This is the only fact Ben Davison told in this whole thing, man. It was the only fact he told. Galloping around the ring. I don't know what they were doing in training. My best guess is they was Joe fooling around. That's what I believe they were doing in training. That said, AJ could never fight. Well, that's not true. I don't know. When he got rocked by Vlad, he was galloping as well. So it's a bit of both. Ben Davison certainly did not prepare AJ for a real fight. An old school fight. Which is not so much Ben Davison's fault. A lot of trainers are like that these days. They're faffers. They're Vladimir Klitschko kind of esque. Look at Okoli. Look at Riakporhe. Faffers. Big old nicks as well. The most worst kind. There's nothing more worse, yeah, than a big old Nick who don't want to fight / can't fight. What are you big for? Yeah, people ain't... All due respect, Okoli, Riakporhe and Johnston. People don't look up to your big asses for nothing. You're supposed to be good for something. Yeah? What did God make these necks big for? Damn sure weren't for fighting. And that is really a sign of the times. Ever since Vladimir, we heard about, oh, these heavyweights are giants. They're never 20 pounds above the old age. Oops. Yeah? Their body is big. Their soul and heart is weak. You're a hater, YB. Fact. Nothing to do with hating. It's a fact. Does Riakporhe want to fight? No. Does Okoli want to fight? No. Does Johnson want to fight? No. Nothing to do. I'd love to come on here. I had Riakporhe beating Bellin Smith. No, I don't even rate Bellin Smith. He don't want to fight either. He was hugging. I thought Riakporhe was going to knock his head off. He gets in there scared to death to fight. Even Angel Fernandez, who's a bit new age, he was saying, Richie, what are you doing? Yeah? What are you doing? Too much hanging around with Madonna is what you was doing.
He'll rush in if you do that.
So now he's saying Dubois will rush in if you gallop around. What I don't understand is, Ben, there's only a round ago was saying if you get hurt, stumble back, go back to the ropes with your hands up. This is the problem when you don't train people how to fight. Yeah? My friend who put me onto boxing, there's a drill. You get a tyre out, you put one of your foot in it, and you fight. Yeah? Your lead foot's in the tyre, and you're both in there opposite each other, and all you can do is essentially slightly pivot either way. You're fighting. You're there then. There's no backing out. That's what you need to do. Take him back to the basics, man. Put your foot in a tyre and fight. Because in that situation, you have to learn to put your chin down. And the shots, you don't have to be in there with someone teeing off, someone hitting really hard, to start off with at least. Getting in there, having your foot in a tyre, it trains you pretty quick how to get your chin down. How to have good recoil with your punches. It also gives you fight IQ of the shots to throw and to lead off with and not to. And guess what? No one, unless you're schooling someone, but certainly no two top level fighters are leading off with their foot in a tyre with a back uppercut. Right up. No one's leading off with no one's leading off with that. Never. Even worse to the body. No one's leading off with that. This advice, this corner's all over the place. Yeah? And you can say, YB, well, if you trained AJ, he might still get clipped and do goofy shit. Yeah. But you best believe I'd have trained him. If he chooses to, I'll come on. Ben Davison can't come on here and say, man, hey man, we trained him to keep his chin down and his hands stuck to his head and come forward, and he chose to do something different. Ben Davison can't say that. He can't say that. I don't believe it. Because to be fair to AJ, we've seen him with Derek James. All that was missing really from the Derek James shtick was something AJ can control. Derek James couldn't make Jamel Charlo fight. He couldn't make AJ be spiteful. That's all that was missing from the outline. If you watch AJ Franklin, the base is there. Even AJ versus Usyk too, the base is there. He was lacking commitment and bad intentions. This fight was the worst I've ever seen. You know what, people? I think I'm going to have to do 2 parts on this. How long have we been talking for? Because that element there, the bits I've talked about already, that's more the technical stuff. These guys start waffling about warrior spirit and whatnot. But in conclusion, you've heard it here, warrior spirit and 100% and I'm a warrior. It's all conflicting people. Warriors don't stumble back with their hands up. No. Fight. Go out fighting, man. Go out sparking the centre of the ring, having a tangle. Having a look. Yeah? Pop. I'd rather him be uppercutting from there, man. I'll meet Danny D right in the centre of the ring with my hands stuck to my head. People, you can laugh. Oh, AB, you're funny. You always say hands to your head. Triple G does it. Canelo does it. Right? It can be done. In all due respect. Bivol, watch the Bivol fight with Canelo in the last few rounds. They're both there like this. It wasn't completely old school because they're quite refined, but they're both there nuggling in. And Bivol gets the better of it. That's the point. That's the point. You rarely see some cornball say, oh, why beat your line? You rarely see someone get knocked out with their hand stuck to their head. Yeah, riding the shots. You rarely see that. You can, I'm sure. There's nothing new under the sun. What we can guarantee is someone stumbling back with their chin in the air is going to be a wrap every time. And you're giving conflicted messages. If your plan was to go in there and box Dubois, then you should have prepared for that. If your plan was to go in there and fight Dubois, you should have prepared for that. Instead, Ben Davison is like, he thinks he's magical. He thinks we'll do it all. We'll step back, bash. We'll roll off, bash. We'll do a bit of this, do a bit of that. Pop, pop, slip, slip. That's what in Ben Davis's mind, he thinks you can do it all like that. But in reality, when you look at boxers, there's special ones. Yeah. Who can do it all, potentially. But in the main, especially the new age, they're straight up and down. Canelo has one way of doing things. Triple G had one way of doing things. Bivol can do a bit of both. But Beterbiev has one way of doing things. It's a lot simpler. A lot simpler. And for someone like AJ who's simple, stick with the simple, man. Rather going to lose, fighting, on the front foot, holding our feet, or we're going to win. Or do the whole Ruiz 2 shtick. I haven't got a problem. Well, I haven't strategically got a problem with trying to run the Ruiz 2 shtick. But do that. Don't come out looking to drop back and throw the uppercut. That's not the Ruiz 2 shtick. Yeah, we'll lead off with an uppercut. That's not no shtick there. Make your mind up. It's conflicting. And it makes no sense unless you believe that you can visualise getting a party trick off, which is what the camp was. I told you this before. Before the fight happened, I said, be careful, people. There's a high chance here that Team AJ have been blowing off the Ngannou fight and they think they can just step back and bash with a knockout punch. And that's essentially what I believe has happened here. This was a step back and bash training camp. On the pad, step back, bash. And that's what we saw. Even to the bitter end, Mr. Maggie Davison was trying to get AJ to slip and bash. And it ended up looking the most woeful thing I've ever seen. And even thinking about AJ's chin and hand position, I think it can be explained by the training camp and the strategy. When you try and throw an uppercut, if you see Mike Tyson throw an uppercut, it drives you to bring your head up. It's actually quite hard to throw an uppercut. You're not going to get the full leverage of an uppercut with your chin down. If you don't hear you're not going to get full leverage. You're going to pull it up, and if you watch AJ throw uppercuts, you finish it like it naturally brings your chin up. So AJ's like this, loose as a goose. His hands are low. He's trying to get the uppercut off. If you're starting from here, if you're starting narrow, yeah, if you're starting with your hands stuck to your head, that's not. It's harder to get the uppercut off. It's like this whole camp and his whole form was structured for the uppercut. Yeah, AJ, if you keep your hands at your waist, fact, an uppercut is quicker. You can more easily throw an uppercut with your hand at your waist. That's probably why Naz was able to get off a lot of lead uppercuts. I'd have to watch it back, but the few times I've seen Prince Nassim with his hands up, I'm not sure he was leading off with uppercuts. Yeah? The lead uppercut shtick comes from, I think, people like Josh Kelly. He can pull it off to some extent. Because your hands are low. If you're coming in like this, man, it's a no-no. I don't care what no one says about you that never boxed before and Ben Davis is a trainer. It's just not. Especially when your fighter's rocked and hasn't even won 20 seconds of a round yet. Get Dubois' respect, and the party trick was not the way to do it, people. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe. Let off the bell, 100%, no doubt about it. People, stop it.